Over a month ago, you guys helped me pass my psychology class, so I'm going to repay the favor by talking about clowns. Clowns have been around for thousands of years. Like, when I say thousands of years, I'm talking like Egyptians thousands of years, like dating back to the Sphinx thing, which this map's actually quite fitting. But yeah, clowns have been around for thousands of years, and they haven't really changed a whole bunch. I mean, sure, clowns have evolved over the years, like the modern clown that we know and love today with like the whole white makeup thing and like the super large shoes for some reason. That's only been around for like 150 years, and the actual like term clown is only like 150, 200 years old. It dates back to like Shakespeare when he did one of his like plays. I think it was in Hamlet. He came up with the word clowns to describe some of the characters, just like someone who's playing a fool. I guess that's just how the word clown was invented. There's not much else to be said. But yeah, clowns have evolved, but they've always been a sign of joy, right? But no, that's not the case. You see, like, media has destroyed clowns. Like, we all know how bad cancel culture is now. Well, you see, like, clowns were like the start of cancel culture when media was like at its prime. Clowns got ratioed hard. You see, like, the past 150 years, clowns have been like synonymous with like horror instead of like joy. And while a bunch of different media sources played into this, the most major one is the opera. Come on, guys, the opera. Now, you're probably wondering, what does the opera have to do with clowns? But you see, one of the most famous opera performances, insert Italian words here, I don't know how to say that. Guys, I wasted 2 years of my life learning French, not Italian. Please don't flame me. But yeah, basically it's this really classic opera piece, and you'd probably know it if I played it, but you know, the whole monetization. Oh wait, I'm not even monetized. I'm not crying. But yeah, it's a really classic performance, and like, if you don't know Italian like me, it's just really beautiful. But you see, for all the people that know Italian, they know the secret meaning behind it. It's written in code. Italian is code. There we go. Like proof. Italian is like spy code. Okay. It's just so moving. Wait, he doesn't even know what he was saying? But basically, it speaks to this guy. He like, his wife's cheating on him or something, and he just finds out. And this happens right before a show that he's leading, so he needs to pull himself together. But basically, he's in tears, and he's telling himself, he's like hyping himself up, because the show's got to go on, right? Like, he's the head of the show, and the show's got to go on. He's saying stuff like, laugh, clown, laugh, and everyone will applaud. And laugh, clown, your love is broken. But you see, he's saying all these things in the third person. You see, this is important because he's hiding his true identity and his true feelings behind the mask of a clown. You see, that's the thing that makes clowns scary. The fact that you have no idea who's behind the white makeup. You're just seeing the front, or the clown. Another good example of this is like the first crazy clown killer guy, John Wayne Garcia. You see he had like a secret. He kind of hid like 28 bodies in the floorboards of his house. He was a children's birthday party clown. Like, those things should not coincide. I think in total, he ends up killing like 33 people, making him like the first killer clown. Die, sir. Wait, I just had a really good idea. Much better now. But yeah, that's basically how clowns are connected to the opera. Now, you might be wondering why I know all this, and I researched all this in the name of psychology. Yes, psychology. You see, for my final in psychology, we had to do research on literally anything we wanted. Like, the teacher gave us this list of stuff we could do our possible research on, but I was like, nah, I'm gonna do clowns instead. Like, who doesn't love clowns? Actually, it turns out a bunch of you guys, but we'll get to that. But yeah, I chose to do my research paper on clowns. Now, this didn't come out of the blue. You see, another time we were supposed to do research, we could do it on anything we wanted. I had no idea what I was going to do it on, so I sort of chose clowns that time, but we didn't get too in depth with it. But this was my psychology final, and this was my opportunity to take a deep dive on clowns. I mean, who would pass that up? See, to do my research on clowns, we were actually supposed to like do actual research. Like, we had to have background research, but we're supposed to like actually do something, like an experiment or something. And you see, I wanted to dress up as a clown and like go freak people out, but my teacher didn't think that was very ethical. Like, excuse me, but when has psychology ever been ethical? Like, we talked about this one time where this baby was punching up a doll. They somehow made the baby punch a doll after like someone else was punching a doll. It was really weird, but like, my point is, psychology has never been ethical. So why can't I just go freak people out in a clown costume? Like, seriously, teacher, come on. I wanted to go above and beyond for you, and like, you didn't let me. So I set out on doing a poll, and that's what I had you guys do. I actually made 2 polls, one for like my class and like one for you guys, because I didn't want people to know where I got the extra data from. I actually had the most data in the class because, well, you guys helped a lot. You know, you had some people saying, oh my god, I got like 40 people to take my survey. I was like, I had 70 people take my survey. And actually, we're presenting our research, and one person was asking like, "How did you get so many people?" And I was like, "You're never gonna know." And they're honestly never gonna know because I'm too like I don't have enough social skills to tell them. So like, you know, I'm just not. Oh, he fell. I'm going to be honest, I didn't have very high hopes for what my YouTube survey was like going to show, because I was going to compare data that I got from my subscribers to an actual scientifically done global scale survey. What could go wrong? And surprisingly, not much actually went wrong. Like, the numbers were actually corresponding, you see. In the survey I gave you guys, like 25.6% of people said that they would say they're afraid of clowns. But in the actual scientific survey, 26.7% of people would say they're actually afraid of clowns. Like, that's pretty impressive. You guys are like an actual scientific, like, there's a word for it, there's a word. It'll come to me eventually.
Eventually.
Okay, it's been like 10 seconds and I still can't think of the word, so I'm moving on. But I'm actually impressed that the surveys were so similar. Like, I was not expecting that. I was so ready to write like a 10-page research paper on why my data was so corrupt because I used YouTube subscribers, but thank you guys, I didn't actually have to do that. Now, obviously, there were a few outliers in the data, like when I asked for if you could think of any clowns, my name came up a lot. I don't know why. And you know, I actually gave the survey to one of my friends, and when I asked if he could think of like any positive uses for clowns, he said reforming society. And you know, I should have expected him to say that after he made this for like one of our English projects.
What happened?
Those mob wolves wanted me to change so I'd fit in when their friends are over.
If you couldn't tell, he voiced over the Joker from The Dark Knight. Like, I really should have expected him to say something like that, but I don't know why I gave him the survey. So there were a few outliers, and it wasn't the most scientific thing, but it's still amazing that the data actually matched the scientific survey. Like, take that, scientists. I just did the same thing with like 1/1000th of the people you guys had. Now, to go over more of the results from the survey, about a fifth of you said you would be okay approaching a clown in public, which I found kind of bizarre. Like, I scaled on a... You know, when I die, I completely lose my train of thought, so like give me a second. But basically, I had it on a scale of 1 to 5, like, if you saw a clown in public, would you go up and say hello to it? And, like, 1 was like, no, I'm running the opposite direction, and, like, 5 was like, I'm giving it a giant bear hug. Like, I was surprised there were so many people, like, willing to go give a clown a bear hug. Like, I could get not running the opposite direction because, I mean, it's a clown. But at the same time, why would you give it a giant bear hug? Because it's a clown. Like, that's nothing to be macho, guys. That's literally just, like, it's just safer not to give clowns bear hugs. But that was honestly probably one of the more interesting results. Everything else was kind of mundane compared to that. Like, you know, what other clowns can you name? A lot of Pennywise, a lot of It. Again, I came up in there somewhere. I mean, everything else was pretty standard, which made for quite an easy essay to write. And honestly, this was probably one of the most fun I had writing an essay, because, like, it was about clowns, so how could it not be fun? Like, this must be how Christ feels whenever he writes an essay. Like, have you seen his live chats? Like, I swear, the man actually, like, writes these essays. But, like, I get it now, because it can be fun when you're talking about something interesting. Now, this wasn't the longest essay in the world. It was about 8 pages and, like, 2,000 words. But because of the fact that I was talking about clowns, I was pretty happy with myself. Like, I wrote 2,000 words on clowns. Like, that's something I never thought I'd hear myself say, but, I mean... That's just life for you. All in all, I'm really happy that I chose clowns because it made for a really interesting essay, and it made for an even more fun video to make. Because look, John Wayne Gacy got top killer, just like in real life. Too soon. Actually, that was 50 years ago, so probably not.